Four,
We're
three,
live.
one. We're live.
Welcome to my channel. And
Well,
today
thank
we're
you.
talking with Evan, aka Chaos Capitalist. So welcome. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. Well, I like to stay focused on what we're talking about. So I'll introduce myself through my journey of understanding what love is. And it all started, I'd say about when I was born, but it all really came to a focal point just a little over a year ago. I wanted to know what love really was, and so I did a lot of very deep exploration, and I realized that I had no clue. I really didn't have a clue what love was, and you know, I guess that's a bit scary, right? And but I realized something. I realized that I knew what love was in a way that if I saw it, I could be like, that's love. If I see it, I can point to it and say that is love, but I can't really fully comprehend it. And I don't think anybody can to any real extent because love is not an emotion. I don't believe. I believe love is an energy. I really do. I think love is just as any other energy is able to inspire amazing things, build incredible things, and so when you look at whether it's a family, the parents and the child, and you can just see sometimes this love. Or if you look at some incredible design, building design, architecture, you can see the love that somebody had that produced such a beautiful thing. And I realized, maybe love is indescribable. Uh, and so that's like my introduction right there.
Well, it doesn't sound like you learned anything.
I did it. I learned that I didn't know really, and that's
Okay,
the
well, yeah,
beginning.
that's a really great start because um, I think that in order to I think that you have to be open to outside experiences in order
Sure.
to love, and
Yeah.
you have to uh, be willing to accept something from the outside world, uh, no matter what it is. So
Yeah.
you have to be um, willing to accept whatever somebody gives you.
Okay. I agree. I do. I definitely agree. And I think really, uh, the world gives us so much, and people give us so much, and being able to navigate that in a positive way, because a lot of that stuff is maybe not so good, right?
Yeah,
A lot of the obstacles that are put in our place by our the people that we're close with, um, the industry or the technology or society, they're real and they're very challenging, and some of them make you lose focus on what your mission is, what your purpose is. So you don't want to be distracted by being open to accepting everything. I think. I think you should be willing to entertain things, but then being able to drop them very quickly.
sure. Well, you don't want to let yourself be controlled,
Yes.
um, but you still have to be uh, open to whatever happens.
Yes. Yeah. And that's how I think pretty much everybody that's come into the space here is fairly open. I imagine. I mean, I can't.
I don't think that
Now,
that's true at all. I think that that's a big
yeah,
problem that we have in Bitcoin is that people believe that they need uh, to cut themselves off, and
well, that happens maybe afterwards, though, I suppose. I mean, maybe they have a predisposition to it, but I wonder how much of that is, something that once they get into this space, it's too much. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
And so they start to look for a box to put themselves into, a tribe, right?
yeah, right, and they do it out of fear because
Sure.
the Bitcoin market is so crazy that it can actually drive a person
Crazy.
crazy.
And it does all the time, and you see it. I mean, people lose perspective. They lose, touch with themselves. Greed, powerful thing. Greed will, take you, and when you're not, even when you think you are most diligent against it, you'll lose focus. You'll lose your what you want. You'll just want money, and I mean, money is something that we all want, but you're going to want money now instead of, you know, actually building and earning it. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be like, how can I just make as much money as possible right now?
Yeah, so yeah, right. So people get into the crypto market when things are good, when everything is going up,
Yeah.
and um and they get used to this idea
Yeah.
that it's easy to get richer quickly. Um
Yeah.
but uh the way the, I think that people are very easily deceived about what truly improves their investment in crypto.
Yeah.
And if you want your coin to get bigger, you have to be accepting to everybody, because
Yeah.
otherwise, why would they get in?
Yeah. Yeah. Ethereum's I think, pretty accepting. We were
Well,
talking a little bit about that earlier.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
you
I
know,
think that I think Ethereum is a lure for people who believe that it's all about software and excuse me and cryptography and programming,
yeah.
and um, it's less about bringing in real production and uh, and bringing people closer together.
Oh, I totally agree. When Ethereum really started to take off, it kind of adopted that sort of uh, corporate. It wanted to be something that everybody could use, right? Where their whole sort of beef with Core was that, oh well, these guys are hardline, you know, either you're with us or you're against us kind of people, and so they kind of decided, well, we're gonna do that corporate, new age Silicon Valley style, um, Facebook esque,
Oh my God,
you know,
that's totally Ethereum. But
yeah,
wait,
isn't
let's talk about Core for a
it?
second, because those guys are even less loving than Ethereum.
I think they're both equally unloving in a way,
Really?
but
Okay,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
yeah, well, maybe. I mean, but in Core, it's all about power, and
yes,
anything that goes against the power of the core developers is it's not allowed.
no, not allowed, not at all, and yeah, I mean, they have no love.
They have what?
They have no love. I mean,
Right.
it's it's a dog eat dog world for them, and the moment they sense weakness, you know, they 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 are they get bloodlust. You know,
Yeah.
they love it. They feed off of it, and it's definitely, it kind of, it minimizes them. You know, they're Bitcoin minimalists.
Yeah,
Really.
they're defeating themselves because of the way that they're organized. So the only way to be creative is to rise up in the core hierarchy if you're
Yeah.
in BTC.
Yeah.
Um, and that isn't very accepting of all ideas. Well, it's not at all. It's not at all
No,
accepting.
no, no.
So,
It's very limiting. Yeah.
and consequently,
Painful.
no,
Painful.
almost nobody can be creative in BTC.
No.
But
No.
but in order for Bitcoin to succeed, you have to enable everyone to be creative, and um, and I think that that's like that's like love.
Yeah.
And in order to accept everybody, you have to you have to be willing to love even power mad idiots like them, because
True. Huh?
you have to be Bitcoin needs to be 100% inclusive.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's go back to my whole journey of love, and my realization, like, the one thing that I could definitively point to in my exploration of what love was, or what love is, was Bitcoin. You know, Satoshi Nakamoto creating Bitcoin. That's love. That's, to me, somebody who knows, group, somebody, uh, coming up with something that frees us from, the limitations of our current system, and lets us have a immense opportunity. You know, that was, that was like that was a big turning point for me.
Oh, I totally agree. Bitcoin is better cooperation,
Yeah.
and it's yeah, it's been so difficult to see how few people really get that, and how much people are distracted by lures that don't really improve the value.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, well, it comes back to that tribal mentality. I think people are looking for something that they can feel like they have. They have a place, they have a position, they have, you know, life is very fluid, and I think it scares people. It scares people that, everything's constantly changing. It scares people that there's no real given certainty in life, right? And so people are looking for something to hold on to. They're looking for structure. They're looking for, a way that they can kind of, you know they can find stability. They can find themselves. All these things, and so they end up making, that they end up building that, whether it's real or not. They end up kind of, finding a place where they can have a position, where they can have their nameplate, or their title, or their respect, or whatever, right? And I think it's not about that. It's not about that. It's about you know creating opportunity. It's about creating a better place for us to to play around in, right? Because I mean, do we all want to like, you know, like stop here? Is this as good as it gets? Is this it? You know?
Okay, yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, I think that people are trying to create an imagined stability when there really isn't any. And
No.
Bitcoin is endless transformation, and that is scary for people, especially when the price is going down.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like it though. I like it because it gives people the, it throws a wrench in everybody's
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I think the connection is lost. Okay, well, I don't know what to talk about while this is going on. Hopefully, Evan will be able to reconnect. Um, let's see. Okay, well, I guess I'll talk about some of the books that I'm reading. So this one is Capitalism, Socialism, and Democracy by Schumpeter. And it's really good so far. I'm only this far in so far, but Schumpeter came up with the idea of creative destruction, which is a good thing to a good thing to think about when you're in Bitcoin, because he had that's kind of a a a a depiction of endless transformation, right? Oh my goodness, where is he? Uh, let's see. Oh wait, okay. I've got the live stream open, so I can take questions. So anybody who has questions, please post a question in. So I see a note from Ruth Heisman, and she says hi, Daniel. So quick, ask a question. Let's see. Okay, here's another good one. This one is reinforcement learning, and this book is about programming um, a computer to win games, essentially. And it's got a bunch of different techniques in it. It's an introductory book, so I think that you could understand it if you had a college level mathematics. And I'm about a third done with it, so I can't really explain too much of what's in it. But I think that if you learn the techniques of reinforcement learning, you can you don't only have to apply them to programs that you write. I think that you can apply them in your own brain. It's just a little bit more abstract and metaphorical. So Evan says he's trying to reconnect. Hopefully we'll see him again. Okay, what else have I got? Okay, this one is advanced number theory, and this one is mostly about quadratic reciprocity. So I don't have much more to say about that, but it's an important idea in mathematics, because almost everything that involves squares will show up in the solution to quadratic reciprocity. So so Gauss said that number theory is the queen of mathematics, and that's because all mathematics reappears in number theory. So when you do quadratic reciprocity, you're talking about every possible kind of operation that is no more complicated than a square. So nothing with a cube, but everything with a square shows up in it. So everything about geometry is kind of hidden in quadratic reciprocity, even if it's not initially obvious. Okay. Oh, we've got some questions. Yes. Ruth says Bitcoin seems like endless creative destruction. Yes, definitely. Definitely. It is endless transformation. And that's because the difficulty keeps changing to account for whatever people did before. So it's like a game where the difficulty always adjusts so as to maximize engagement. Well, okay, so I've got a question from Julian Smith. What utility is love in the Bitcoin space? So in Bitcoin, it's better if everybody can think together, because then everybody can specialize in improving Bitcoin. Because if everybody is doing a different thing to improve Bitcoin, then that's more efficient. And in order for people to coordinate, they need to get closer together as far as how they communicate with one another. So greater interconnectivity between people means greater specialization. Are you back?
I'm back.
Okay.
I learned my lesson.
What happened?
Don't walk around.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I told him to do that. So, hey, stop it.
Oh, that's a
Lemon is
beautiful
hungry.
cat.
I'll have to feed him after this.
All
Hey,
that
Lemon,
love.
smile for the camera. See, up over there. Okay, then go away. Okay, what were we talking about?
Oh,
Well,
I think we were
let me
talking.
finish my
Oh, yeah,
thought, because you
sure.
can just
Please.
respond to that. So I'm saying
Yeah.
people need to get closer together and be more interconnected, and then they can specialize more in how they are improving Bitcoin. And you can't control other people, so you can't stop other people from becoming more interconnected. And this is something that was really blew my mind recently when we had this this BCH BSV split, is that the Bitcoin ABC group was trying to they were trying to ensure that Craig Wright was less interconnected in the network. So they were constantly trying to discredit him and tell people not to listen to him, and putting a lot of effort into this when it's something that just won't work. Okay.
No.
If somebody is good at getting more interconnected, you can't just tell people not to listen. So
Yeah.
you need love, because you will in order for Bitcoin to succeed, you need to get more interconnected with everybody, and that includes people with ideas that you don't like, or people who are who want to who have a different ideology about Bitcoin than you do, but you still have to become more interconnected with them.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We already have, a system that looks to banish people, and that's called Swift.
Right.
I, when I heard about North Korea mining, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, whatever.
No. Oh, wait. I heard something. Sorry, you'll have to repeat what you were saying. Okay, I think we will have to end the broadcast. I think we just don't have enough not enough connectivity. So we need more love. Maybe we'll continue some other time. So sorry guys. Let's see. I'll see if there's some more questions. Um, okay, I don't see any new questions. So I'm gonna stop the broadcast now, and hopefully we'll be able to continue this conversation at some future time. So bye.